For the most part, I buy most of my books online only because I'm very particular in what I like to read and what I like to spend my money on. So I really don't go to bookstores because I know I'm not going to find exactly what I'm looking for in most of them. I intentionally research online and scour my social media feeds to find books that I'm interested in. And this first book is from Gulf Coast Books, and it's a book I came across on my Hoopla dashboard. It recommended me this audiobook and I started listening to it and it's really good so far. So I bought this book for $6 because it's a very detailed book that I would like to annotate. The synopsis is kind of vague, but it's about a young girl dealing with grief and family drama, and she escapes into this mysterious book about a Dahomean warrior woman and an alien who are on an adventure together. I had started reading Linden Hills on my Kindle through Libby, but I was a little slow getting to it, and by the time I did, somebody placed a hold on it, so I couldn't renew it. It's an interesting read so far. I'm not really sure what it's going to be about or where it's going, but it seems to follow the residents of an affluent black community that I believe is in the same world as the women of Brewster Place. I also got this book, and what I get from the synopsis is that it's a collection of short stories about the patrons of a local cafe, and the cafe itself is apparently a supernatural establishment that appears in different places and times, and it's told in first person. This is a nonfiction book that's been in my cart for almost a year now. Tayana is also the author and creator of the Hoodoo Tarot Deck and Guidebook, which has become my go-to tarot deck and guide. She has really good insight into tarot and root work, and I really wanted to see more of her insight on African American magical traditions with this book. This is a book that I came across after some research. Honestly, I don't read a lot of sci-fi, not intentionally, but I think sci-fi is a genre that just gets overlooked, at least by me. I think I get overwhelmed with how potentially complicated the world building can get in this genre, which in turn makes me think it's going to be a complicated read. But now that I think about it, that really wasn't the case with most of the sci-fi books that I've read and enjoyed. So hopefully this book can help me get back into the genre. It's a collection of short fantasy and sci-fi stories from a Nigerian perspective. House of Frank is a recent release. This is the kind of book that I hope to find at bookstores, but I didn't see it anywhere, so I got it on Amazon. I was hoping to read this around the equinox as a way to bring in a new year and welcome in the spring, but I haven't gotten to it yet, but I definitely will soon. It's about a witch who is dealing with the passing of her sister and comes to work at an estate where she is befriended by a staff of mythical creatures who help her rediscover joy and love. Last month I read When the Night Whispers by Savannah Wells and I really enjoyed the gothic romantic vibe, so I was excited to discover she published another paranormal romance book. The Moontail Secrets follows a mother who is trying to help her son control his power to shift into any animal, a gift he got from his deceased father. And from a synopsis, she forms a relationship with a new guy who is grieving the brutal loss of his wife, but discovers new details about her unaliving that mirrors the savage powers that the son is now exhibiting. Midnight and Indigo is a book I discovered on Instagram because I've been following the publisher Midnight and Indigo for some time now and knew they were coming out with this anthology book. It's a collection of 21 speculative fiction stories, all by black women writers. Speculative fiction is a genre that explores possibilities and impossibilities beyond what we know as reality and often includes sci-fi, fantasy, and horror. I like reading anthologies because they introduce me to new authors, so I'm hoping I can discover some new to me authors and talent in this book. It's really important to follow authors on social media because they will put you on. I got this recommendation from Sylvester Barcy, who is a horror thriller author that I've been following for a while. And one day he mentioned this book was on sale for $4 on Amazon. I thought he was lying, but I looked it up and it was indeed $4, so I bought it. I didn't realize it was hardcover, which is even nicer until it came in. And after reading the synopsis, I realized I've heard of this book, but I must have forgotten about it. It's a young adult, which I'm not a big fan of, especially in the horror genre. But the plot seems promising, which is about the daughter of a notorious serial unaliver who is looking for her deceased mother's body at a summer camp. Okay, so you may assume that just because I'm a book influencer that I get lots of advanced copies of books sent to me, but that's not even the case, like at all. So when I first found out about this book from the author's Instagram, I told my husband I was going to try to reach out to the publisher and beg for this book. That's something I don't do and have never done, but I wanted it really bad. And before I can reach out, I got an email from a representative at HarperCollins offering me a copy of this book. This is Not a Ghost Story by A. Marie. Yes, that A. Marie. And Now to have this book in my hands is just amazing. It's about a ghost who is trying to find his way after walking into the light and into present day Los Angeles, where he becomes an instant celebrity for being the world's first visible ghost. I ate this book up and I cannot wait to talk about it. Dominion is a book I came across after some very intentional searching and is another one that has been sitting in my cart for a very long time. The price finally dropped on a used copy and I was able to get it for $7, but this book looks brand new, so I think it was a good deal. And to have Tanana Reeve do write the foreword, you would think this would be a well-known book, but I haven't seen or heard anything about this book. It's a collection of short stories in the speculative fiction genre again. Some of these authors I've read really good books from, and others are very new to me. So, again, I hope to discover some new talent from this book. I'm realizing now that there are a lot of anthology books in this haul, and Magic in the Melanin is another one that I got. It's a black fantasy anthology from the Melanin Library, who I've been following since like day one on Instagram. So if you're looking for more books by black authors in any genre, please go check them out. They put together this anthology and got some really great authors to contribute, including one of my favorites, Leslie Penelope, who is a gem in the black fantasy and romantasy game. And unlike a lot of fantasy books out right now, this one says that everybody in this book is black, so you don't have to guess. The only thing I will say is that the cover for this book is not what I expected for a book of this caliber, so we got to change that.